So if you go to Google Classroom, that's the first place I want you to go, DVC Shop 2023. Under Digital Illustration 1, you click on this link and it will take you to your digital illustration page here, okay, our assignment page. And what you're worried about right now is you're worried about your project assignment objectives. Okay, that's what we're going to be working on. We're going to be recreating these 4 different sets of drawings, okay, using 4 different techniques. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first video, this video on how to do this one, and I want you to follow along, and I want you to complete that particular part, okay? When you complete that, or you can email me, and I'll do the next one, and then I'll do the next one and the next one. We're going to work on this for the rest of this week and next week, and then whatever you have, we'll have you hand it in, okay? And the next cycle, I'm kind of rearranging how things are going to function a little bit. We're going to do things a little bit differently since we're going to be out for a while, all right? So this is the page that you want to be on, all right? And here's the link to get everything. So you click on your little drive open window, and this is going to open up your drive, all right? And what you need is you need all of these images that are in here. For now, I'm going to start with the first one. So you open up the folder, download Illustrator Drawing 1. I download it. It's going to pop up on my desktop. You're using a Windows computer. It's going to look slightly different, but it's going to pop up. And make sure that you know where it's downloading to, okay? In some cases, it'll download to the Downloads folder. That really depends on how your computer's set up. So I've got my file. Now, I go back to my page here, and it's going to explain to me what I want. And I want one document with multiple artboards, okay, 4 of them that are 11 by 8.5. So you're going to go to Illustrator. You're going to click Create New. Okay, you're going to make sure the width is 11, the height is 8.5. Make sure it's in inches, otherwise it's not going to make a lot of sense to either one of us. And then you want your artboards to be 4. Artboards are the spaces that we work in Illustrator. So if I hit click Create, I should have a file that looks something like this. Yours might line up a little bit differently. It doesn't matter as long as you got 4 pages. Okay. So the next step in this process is I'm going to take my drawing and I'm going to drag and drop it right into here. All right. This gives me what I'm going to be tracing. Now it's a little bigger than my artboard, so I'm just going to go in the corner. I'm going to hold the Shift key. Make sure you hold the Shift key or it's going to get funky. I hold the Shift key and scale it down. All right. Now I've got my first drawing set to trace. Okay. The next step in this process is I want all these colors. So I'm going to go to my swatch panel, which is right here. If you don't see your swatch panel, okay, you go to Window, and you can go to Swatches, and it'll pop up. And we want to get rid of all these colors because we're not going to use any of them. So I'm going to click on Red. I'm going to grab my scroll. I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to hold the Shift key. I'm going to click on the purple, and I'm going to click Delete. And I'm going to say Yes. And that gets rid of all the swatches. You're going to do this in every Illustrator assignment over the years that I give you just to practice on making swatches. All right? Now, the first thing I want is I'm going to use my magnifying glass and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to grab my color picker, which is this little guy here, my eyedropper tool. If you don't see the eyedropper tool, you click and hold. It could be under the measurement tool, but generally the eyedropper tool is the default. I'm going to click on this dark gray. And you'll notice, okay, and just you won't get this, but I'm going to go ahead and do this, and that's fine. Okay, click on this dark gray, and it gives me the gray here. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Now, okay, if I click on this, I find that I have to click and then click and hold. And then I can drag it right up here. That gives me the light gray. So I'm going to do, the darker gray. Then I'm going to grab this lighter gray, and I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag. Sometimes the click and hold doesn't work. I don't know why. It's a little finicky. And if you find that's the case, just let go, click again, and drag. And you'll get those 2 colors. So there's my 2 grays. Hard to see the difference there, but there is a difference. Then I want the blue. Click, drag. Okay. Then I want the pink. Click, drag. Then I want the green. Click, drag. I think you get the idea. Scroll over here a little bit. Then I want the orange. Click, and drag. I guess that's orange, right? More like creamsicle. All right. Now, let's get started. So I've got all my colors. So the next step in this thing, this is an easy one, okay? I've got basic shapes here. So the first one is this initial test tube, and I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw right over it all the way down. Now, okay? I know that for now, all I want to have is a dark gray, so I'm going to make sure that I take out the fill, click on the stroke, go back to my swatches, and I can also do this from up here, which is even more convenient, and I want to have that darker gray, okay? Now, I need my line thicker, right? So up here is my stroke. You can also have it over here. There's multiple places, okay? All kinds of places. So I'm going to make this about that thick. That's fine, all right? Now, what's the issue? The issue is that this is not rounded, correct? So you have these little circles. When I activate my object, I have these little circles that allow me to round my edges. But I don't want all of them rounded at the same time. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on one. you'll notice that you can it's hard to see on my screen. It's a little different. It's actually outlined. I'm going to hold the Shift key and click this one. Now that activates only these bottom two so that I can go like that. Ta-da! We've got a test tube. Okay, this is where it gets kind of easy. Now I'm going to copy and paste. Command-C, Command-V, okay? Or, if you prefer, and I usually do, is to hold down the Option key and drag. Okay? But Command-C, Command-V, or Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste, that all works. Now I want to take this guy, and for him, okay, I don't want there to be a stroke, so I'm going to take this out. What I want for the fill is I want a lighter gray. Okay? See how that works so far? Okay, so I've got that. Now, I want to create the blue. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this again. All right, and here's where it gets kind of fun. Well, I think. I'm a design nerd. All right, underneath the eraser, okay, I have the knife tool. Now, the key with the knife tool is you have to start outside of the object and end outside of the object. Okay, I'm just simply going to draw a shape that's similar to the one that's there, like that. I have to deselect the object. Then I can take the top right off. Okay, let me do that again. Underneath the eraser is the knife. Okay, don't use the slice tool. All right, that's not what you want. It's under here. Okay, this knife tool. So I'm going to click like this, drag over. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now I've got this selected. I'm going to deselect, and I can delete the top right off. That gives me this. This, I want to have a fill color, and this is my fill color. This is my stroke color. This is my fill color. This is my stroke color. I want to have a fill of the blue. Okay? So now I've got my three pieces. This one, all right, I need to make sure, all right, this piece is on top of this, right? So I'm going to go Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And now I've got this lighter color behind the darker one. You can see that, I hope. There's not a tremendous amount of difference there. Now if I take this and put this here, okay, what's the issue? If I look at it, it's still in front of my frame, which I don't want. So I'm going to grab the frame one, and I'll know, because it doesn't have a fill, and I'm going to say Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. So there's my initial part of my test tube. These are really easy, because all I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, is I'm going to click and hold to get my ellipse tool. I'm going to make a small circle, all right, that again does not have a fill, or does not have a fill, however you want to change it. And I want to make the fill the dark gray. And I'm going to take this little circle, all right, and I need to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to hold the Shift key and scale it. If you don't hold the Shift key, it won't be a circle, all right? And you'll notice, and again, I'm going to Option drag or copy and paste. You'll notice that these pink lines line up, and those are called Smart Guides. And if you don't see them, they're under the View Smart Guides, okay? And Smart Guides are nice because they line everything up for me, all right? So now I've got the initial part of the test tube set up. Okay? So all I need to do is do the little white circles for the little blurps. So all I'm going to do is make a small circle, and it just needs to be white. I don't care if you have the exact number of circles, the same number of circles. Again, I'm going to hold the I'm going to hold the Option key and just make some circles that make it look like bubbles. Okay, nothing great. Now the last part of this is the sort of glare, the highlight. All right? And so the highlight, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to grab the pen tool, and this is where you're going to have to practice the pen tool, all right, which we did during class a couple times. But simple in the pen tool. Pen tool, you can click and keep on clicking and make shapes, right? If you remember, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Or I can click, and I can click, and I can hold, and I can drag. This is where students have the trouble. Okay, let me make it an outline. Again, click, click and hold, and that allows you to make arcs. Okay? And initially, it wants me to make a funky arc afterwards. And if I want to do that, I can. But you can actually go back to that point and click on it and make a straight line. All right? So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. All right? And I'm going to click here and kind of arc this down. And it doesn't have to, I don't care if it's exact. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click back up. And I'm just going to make a sort of highlight shape, all right? And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it, because I was using it anyway. And I'm going to tuck this right over here, and I'm going to make it white, Okay, now you'll notice it's a little see-through, so that's easy enough. I'm going to go to my opacity mask here, right here, my opacity, and again, if you don't see it, it's window, okay, and it's under my opacity, which is under transparency here, okay, and all I'm going to do is drop it down a little bit, okay, and there's the first one. Now I'm going to grab this whole thing and just group it so I have it, okay, and I'll put them up here for now. All right. So the next one, okay, is the same idea. Now this is where we can start to use the Pathfinder. So hopefully you've done the Pathfinder tutorial. Because all I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to make a circle. All right. And again, I've got my swatches already set up, so I don't want to fill on this right now. What I want is this darker stroke. Okay. And let me get rid of my fill. And I need, again, a thicker line, right? So I'm going to take that shape initially. Then what's the top half? It's a square, right? So I'm going to take my rectangle tool, and I'm going to go like this, all right? And actually, it'll help, to be honest with you, if I just make these fills for now, so I can kind of see the shape I'm making. See that? And then the bottom half, I'm going to grab a rounded rectangle, okay, and I'm going to drop it like this. Now I've got all three shapes, right? Yippee. Well, this is where, okay, I'm going to select all three. Remember, to select multiple objects, I'm going to hold the Shift key. Click and click. Now I'm going to go to my Pathfinder, which is here. Or again, if you don't see it, it's Window Pathfinder. It'll pop right up. And I'm going to unite them. Now that I've done that, I have the outline for my object. Okay? And you're going to do the same process that I did with this one for this. And so if you need to rewind and go back and follow that for this process, it is the same step for each one. This is going to be a triangle and a rectangle, and this is probably the easiest one because it's basically a wider version of this. Okay? If you have any questions after watching the videos, email me. I'm actually heading into the school for a little bit, but I'll be back later on this afternoon. Hopefully that walkthrough kind of helps you through. Remember that as you're done, make sure that you save, okay? That you save the file so that you have it and you don't lose it, okay? When you complete this one, email me. Let me know you've completed it, all right? If you want to send me a picture of it so I can look at it, that's fine. And then I can show you a video for the next step, all right? Hopefully that helps. Good luck.